So in my previous example, where we're traveling through vector space, we can travel along a very straight line, like a laser beam that's going in one very narrow direction, or we can travel in a cone through the vector space, a cone that has a range to it. This parameter is called temperature. Temperature is the term that describes the cone of possible choices that an AI will consider in its vector space. So most of the time, if we just choose that one straight vector line, our output will be very predictable. We'll be able to reproduce the output very easily. But we may not get a very creative output, or our output might not have the exact human-like quality of language that we're looking for. And so this temperature widens that cone that we're traveling along in the vector space, and it will pick up multiple words, multiple tokens in the path that we're traveling in vector space. The AI will then determine the probabilities of all of the words that it's encountering in that cone, and it may choose a word that's not the most probabilistically subsequent word that it could. It could choose, there might be along this cone, there might be a word that has a 34% probability, a word that has a 32% probability, a word that has a 27% probability. And depending upon the settings in the background of the generative AI model, it might sometimes choose the word with a 27% probability, even though a higher probability word might exist within the vector space along that vector that we're traveling. And so by changing the prompt we use for AI to create its output, by saying, use more literary language, or if our prompt itself uses more literary language, if we employ instead of use, then the AI will detect that surprise in the prompt, and it will change its temperature output so that it will catch more tokens along its vector path. And it may decide to use or employ a different token that means something very similar that occurs in language at a slightly lower probability. And so it makes a more florid, flowery, extravagant passage for its output as a result. When we do this, when we prompt engineer in this way, according to this study, the AI detection rate dropped from 70% detection down to 3.3% detection rate.